Oil spills come in many forms. Sometimes they occur quietly, as in the case of the spill in Port Manatee. A pipeline leaked oil for over 12 hours before it was discovered, and before it was over, the spill had spread all the way across the bay. Then you have the spills that can't go unnoticed, as in the spill we suffered most recently after the ship collision in August of '93. While dramatically different, the two spills did have one thing in common, and that is that the oil that was spilled floated on top of the water, as oil has always done. This is number 6 fuel oil, the type that historically has been coming into the bay to fire our power plants and the like. Watch what happens when I pour it into this little bit of Tampa Bay. It floats. Like the old saying goes, oil and water don't mix. That's why we have a chance to clean up at least some oil spills with containment booms and skimmer boats, right? Well, not necessarily. Meet Orimulsion, a new fuel that Florida Power and Light wants to start bringing into Port Manatee to fire its power plant near Parrish. Watch what happens when I pour this stuff into this little bit of Tampa Bay. A lot of people are wondering what good containment booms and skimmer boats will be against this.
The new oil slurry mixture that they're proposing to bring into Port Manatee really scares the hell out of me. This is the kind of material that once it gets out in the environment, we don't have the technology
Peter Clark is an environmental scientist who was with the Regional Planning Council for years. He is now director of Baywatch.
Port Manatee is located right between 2 aquatic preserves. The potential to be able to try to clean up that material before it gets out in the natural environment just doesn't exist.
So why would Florida Power and Light want to use Orimulsion? For one thing, it costs a lot less than the current fuel.
It means about $3.50 reduction in a power bill per customer if they use 1,000 kilowatt hours per month.
FP&L's Jack Kirk says to burn Orimulsion, which is dirtier than number 6, state-of-the-art pollution devices would be incorporated into the plant, resulting in cleaner emissions.
We will reduce those emissions by about half with the equipment that we're installing.
However, the Parrish plant currently operates at 30% capacity. Using Orimulsion, output would increase to about 80%. So while emissions from the stacks will be cleaner, they'll be coming out a lot longer, leaving the benefits to air quality somewhat up in the air. A final decision on allowing Orimulsion into our atmosphere or onto our bay is still many months away. But low API fuel is already here. Low API is the new fuel that Florida Power is bringing to its power plant on Weeden Island. Unlike Orimulsion, which seems to go into solution in salt water, low API simply sinks straight to the bottom. Theoretically, we could have a major spill with this and never know it. Not till the sunken oil and dead marine life started washing ashore. As a consequence, Florida Power is taking extra precautions in its method of transportation.
First and foremost, we are requiring our shipper to use double-hull vessels in the transport of this oil into the bay.
Karen Rahill of Florida Power also notes the company is booming off its unloading facility. But if low API sinks in the bay, as it did in our bottle, concerned environmentalists say that boom had best reach to the bottom.
If a spill happens, if the material, low API fuel, or this new fuel that's being talked about, this Orimulsion fuel, if it hits the water, what's going to happen? And
Karen Collins is director of the Manatee County Environmental Action Agency.
That this kind of material is going to be very, very difficult, if not impossible, to capture.